sort of look into some of the more interesting questions that I'm going to ask you. Yes, in tonight's video, I'm going to be asking you, maybe even answering in my own way, questions that we may never, ever, 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 ever get the answers to. Now, some of these questions are going to be because they are too big for our brains to even comprehend. Some of them might just be too hard to explain. Some of them might even actually be answerable, and I'm just stupid and haven't looked it up. Or some of them we literally just cannot know. I thought this was kind of like a cool little big brain type of video if you're trying to fall asleep and it's kind of hard to get, something on your mind and concentrate on while you're trying to fall asleep too. This can be the video you look towards, so it's kind of a nice thing. So make sure you do drop a like on the video. Liking the video is the best thing you can do for the channel for me. I do appreciate it a lot. Also, maybe comment down below, maybe a question you want me to answer, a question maybe you think it's cool, or maybe you can even answer some of the questions yourself down in the comment in your mind. Even speak it out loud if you want to answer some of these questions. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. Check out my page. I have a bunch of random stuff for a bunch of different people, so it should be pretty nice. You'll find a video in there I'm sure you'll like. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's get started. Alrighty guys, so it's gonna be kind of an interesting video. It's more of gonna be like maybe a whispered ramble, maybe more of just like a sort of like how I do my would you rather videos, where I'm just gonna start spitfiring random questions at you, and you can pause the video if you want to sort of spend time thinking in deep thought on one of the questions. But if not, I'll just be spitfiring a lot of these out, or maybe taking some time and talking about them. So we have a couple of unanswerable, some of them maybe, questions here. So let's get comfy. We have a question here. I'm not going to be naming them off, but I'll just see our first question. When did time begin? Kind of our first question to go off of. Obviously, there's a lot of different things and a lot of different ways you can interpret this question. One way is probably the most popular way is the Big Bang Theory. Somehow everything just sort of occurred all at once at a very quick rate. Now, obviously, another big time question would be, what was before that? That's a good question. What was in space, or whatever space you want to call that was space that wasn't space then, before that? Does that make any sense? Probably not. Good question though. When did time begin? I guess you can technically say the Big Bang. So however millions and millions and millions, or maybe even billions of years ago that happened. This is one I thought that was really cool, and it kind of reminded me of a Disney movie, which hopefully you guys know I really love Disney, is where do thoughts go when they are forgotten? That's kind of interesting. If you don't know, in the movie Inside Out, sort of thoughts go into like this little deep part of your brain and they slowly just like disappear, which is kind of weird to think about, but that is kind of how it does happen. Thoughts just sort of disappear and just don't go anywhere. But obviously, if you think of something, it was created in your brain, but then somehow your brain just lets it go away. But where does that go to? In one ear and out the other, maybe. That's sort of my guess. Although there are some people out there who have great memories, who can remember what they had for breakfast 2 weeks ago. I can't even remember what I had for lunch 2 days ago. I don't know, actually. Probably a sandwich. I usually have sandwiches for lunch, so I'm assuming it was probably that. But you know what I mean? I'm very bad with memory, but some people are very good with it, so maybe it does go to a place, but it's obviously very easily to be forgotten about, I guess. Do we have free will, or is everything predestined? Ooh. Now I think for sure, at least for me, I would say for sure, free will. I could yell and scream into this mic if I wanted to and ruin all your days and nights, but I won't, because my free will is to be nice and let you guys sleep. Is there life after death? Ooh, that's a deep question. is something that is very interesting. What if everything does just go black and there's nothing? That's kind of scary to think about. Okay, let's skip that one. Another good one, which I think is actually one of the ones that you could actually answer, and there probably is an answer, but I'm kind of dumb, is what are dreams? What are dreams? That is kind of interesting. You're kind of just like watching a movie. Your brain just decides to make up that day. Sometimes it's a good one. Sometimes it's a bad one. Sometimes it's one that you can control yourself. Sometimes it's just a blank black screen. Kind of depends on whatever your brain is feeling like showing you that day. That is interesting, and it's also really interesting about dreams is how they take, a lot of things, the push down emotions, trauma, past experiences that you want to do. It takes fantasy from things that you've thought of before, and it mixes it all into, again, a concoction of whatever it wants to show you that night. So dreams are really weird. I'm sure you could probably actually answer that question if you Google it, though. Any other cool ones? Which orange came first, the color or the fruit? I'm assuming the fruit, right? That's also probably one that you can actually answer. That is funny. Who decided what's right and wrong? That's kind of a deep, probably religious sort of thing. But even then, I don't know. I feel like people have like a moral compass. I feel like everyone's is sort of on a certain level. Some normal people, you could say the normal ones have a sort of like a normal compass where you get a vibe or a feeling that you know what you're doing is good or bad. But even then, it could be, it couldn't be, it is different for a lot of people, so, interesting. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? That's funny. I would assume the chicken, whatever sort of evolution came from before a chicken, which I actually have no idea what even was the evolution of a chicken. I have no idea, but I'm assuming it was a chicken. I don't think an egg was just hatched on Earth. Let's see. There's kind of a cool one. Is the Earth alive? Is the Earth a living being? I guess technically, yes, in a way. If obviously, plants are part of the world, and plants, they are alive. They eat in a way, they drink in a way, they grow, they do their own thing. Some of them even eat real things, like a fly trap. Those things they eat living things, which is crazy to think about. So, is the Earth alive? I could actually answer that. I would say yes. I think the Earth is alive, which is kind of weird to think about. A lot of these questions are kind of dumb. Like, what makes you you? That's not a dumb question. That's actually a really good question to ask yourself, because that's a never. Well, I guess that is a question that will never be answered, because that answer changes by the day, the minute, the hour, the week, the month, the year. So I guess that actually is a true question that will never be answered, because it's always a different answer. That's actually kind of smart, actually. Are soulmates a real thing? I mean, in my head, like in my heart, yes, I think that's very adorable and cute. But in real life, no. I think you can make someone your soulmate. You can find someone that's very identical and has a lot of same interests and is the perfect person. But you can probably find a handful of those in the world. Man, there's 8 billion people in the world now, maybe even more than that. I think you can make someone your soulmate, but I don't think there is one person on Earth made for you. But in my heart, yes, those things are real. Is there an end to the universe, or does it just keep going? I think there's an answer for that, is that the universe is forever growing, right? And that's why is the purpose and meaning of time? Yeah, that is kind of a weird thing, how time, like literally time, is like a society-made thing. Like, right now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but why is it 1 o'clock in the morning? Because we've said it's 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? What even is the morning? Just when the sun is up, but why? Why isn't the morning when it's nighttime? That's kind of an interesting thought, I guess. But yeah, time is interesting. I guess time is the only time you really have is your own internal clock. And if that's the true case of it, then everyone is on their own time, which is also very true. It's kind of a deep question. Some of these, again, are kind of dark. This next one is, are we living or slowly dying? That's kind of sad to think about, but it's true. That is very true. Oh my goodness. They have the what's this called? The ship of Theseus, sort of theory, or whatever you want to call it. They have that on here, actually. If you took a ship and replaced all of its parts until none of its original parts are intact anymore, is it still the same ship, or did you build a completely different ship? My thing is, it's a different ship. I think I've answered this myself, but basically, if you took a ship and you just tore it all down, but you still, were building around the ship, but just made it new, is it still the same ship? You can even keep the same name of it. Is it still the same ship? Well, I guess if it's, because like buildings and like even real ships and cars, people do that all the time with their stuff, and it's still the same car. To them it is, but in reality it's not. So actually the real answer is probably no, but to you it could be, if you have a nice attachment to that ship or object. Oh, this is actually a really good sort of question. I think that will probably never be answered, or maybe there is an answer. Why, in the Disney universe, whatever you want to call it, is Goofy known as like a human? He's like a being alongside Mickey and Donald, but Pluto is a pet dog, but Goofy is also a dog. There's like two different species of dog in like the Disney universe, where one is treated as a dog and one is treated as like a civilian. It's kind of weird. I guess that is sort of a funny question to sort of think about. I don't want to answer that one. If a vampire bites a zombie, does a zombie become a vampire, or does the vampire become a zombie? Interesting. If a vampire bites the zombie, I think, well, yeah, because I guess the vampire would get infected because he drank the blood of a zombie, so, and yeah, I think if you drink blood, it like goes into your bloodstream, right? So in some way, shape, or form, so I guess that would give it the virus. Interesting. I guess they would just both become a zombie vampire / vampire zombie. I think if it was one or the other, I think if I had to choose one, I think it would be the zombie would become a vampire, because the vampire is biting the zombie, unless the zombie like bit back. But I don't think it would. But I think if obviously the vampire drank the blood of the zombie, he would also become a zombie. That's a funny question. Why is the objective of golf to play the least amount of golf? That's really funny. Why is the objective of golf to play the least amount of golf? I guess that's kind of a weird way to put it, but I guess it's just to be as perfect as possible. You can say the same thing for like bowling. You just want to be as perfect as possible. I always thought that was a funny question too. What is the color of a mirror? What is the color of a mirror? If I asked you what color is a mirror, what would you say? I guess you would say like reflective, right? But obviously if you put a mirror in like obviously like a black room, that mirror is going to be reflected off of nothing, so it's going to be black. But if you put it in a room like a white room, the mirror is going blinks. Is it blinking or winking? It would just be blinking, I would assume, because winking, I think, is when you only have two eyes and you close one. I think it's just called blinking if you just close your eyes, right? Maybe. I think probably. If you have a fun time wasting time, can you still call it wasting time? That's a good adult question for, adults out there asking kids why they play video games, because it's a waste of time. But if you're enjoying your time, are you really wasting it? This is kind of funny. This one says, which armrest is yours at the movie theater? So funny, actually. For me, at least when I go with people, I always just if I'm sitting on the edge and the person I know is sitting to the right of me, I usually take the arm, like the right arm rest. And then if I don't know the person who's I just don't use that one. Or it's kind of like a first come, first serve thing. Like if I'm the first one there and I'm sat, I own the armrest. And then if that person comes and sits next to me, I'll move and shift a little bit, you know what I mean? But I never give up both. I always have to have one armrest. So I think it's just a first come, first serve type of thing. I know some movie theaters have the double armrest where you can actually have two people there, but I think the answer to that would just be first come, first serve. Okay, I'm gonna do some quick fire round ones, see some quick ones I can find, and then just maybe end the video there. What happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force? Ooh. When does it stop, become partly sunny, and start becoming partly cloudy? There's also, is the glass half full or half empty? That's another really good one. Why is vanilla ice cream color white when vanilla itself, the color, is brown? Man, that is true. I guess, I can't answer these. Sorry, I'm just doing quick fire. I forgot. Do you consider eyebrows facial hair? Can you stand backwards on a flight of stairs? Get it? Because you're always going up the stairs or down the stairs. You're never turning your back on the stairs. That's kind of funny. What do you call the bug a fly if it doesn't have its wings? A fly without its wings is called what? Dang. If tomatoes are a fruit, then what is ketchup? A smoothie? Maybe. If you told someone to be a leader and not a follower, wouldn't they become a follower because of your advice?